Hey friends, hope you're well. So this is the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. It's Google's most expensive phone in the new Pixel lineup, and I have the chance to use it for a week. This phone has one of the largest displays of any foldable phone, a triple rear camera setup that I'll put to the test, and it's powered by the new Tensor G4 chip and Gemini Nano. If you watched my recent review on the Pixel 9, you'll know that was my first ever Google Pixel phone that I've tested, and it set the benchmark really high. So I'll daily the 9 Pro Fold for the week, share my honest thoughts with you, and how I think it stacks up against the more affordable Pixel 9 that I've just tested, and my own iPhone 15 Pro. First impressions is it's a little heavier than I expected at 9.1 ounces or 257 grams, but it is solidly built. But when opening it up, I was taken aback by how stupidly thin it is. This is 0.2 inches thin. That's about as thin as the new iPad Pro M4. When folded open, it feels nicely balanced in hand without being weighty. And unlike some other foldables on the market, this phone folds completely flat. Now, in the box, just like the Pixel 9, it's really straightforward, just the 1-meter USB-C cable, QR codes, and SIM ejector tool, and that's about it. And I also have the case for it. I wasn't a big fan of it, so I just left it off. It's a back case and a front case, but it's already quite big as it is, quite chunky, so I decided to opt to use it without the case. The setup itself was even easier this time since I ported my settings and data from the Pixel 9 to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold over Wi-Fi, and I was up and running within 10 minutes. So the very first day with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, of course I went straight to testing the foldable screen and design. I have to say right away, I'm pretty impressed. The updated hinge design opens up to a completely flat panel with its open form factor feeling quite natural in hand, and the UI experience is even better. When folded open, video content looks incredible, apps and mobile games are even more engaging and immersive, and multitasking across apps is a joy. Folded up, it's essentially a Pixel 9 Pro, although bulkier and heavier, but the utility in being able to pry it open into a beautiful 8-inch tablet at any time is not just useful, but genuinely a joy to use. So on paper, the external screen is a 6.3-inch 120Hz OLED display with a resolution of 1080 by 2424, while the internal screen is an 8-inch 120Hz OLED display with a resolution of 2076 by 2152. Both displays peaking at 2700 nits. And in real life, the displays are bright under the sun and more than punchy enough to watch a full movie on its full 8-inch screen. And I did exactly that and really enjoyed the viewing experience. And being a foldable, there's a lot of practicality in its design. For example, standing it up here on a 90-degree angle and opening up YouTube. Half the screen here is dedicated to the video and the other half is dedicated to video comments or video controls. It's really quite brilliant. As excited as I was on the first day with these screens, there were a couple of negatives with this screen that I experienced on the first day. For one, there's significant letterboxing when watching videos in full tablet mode, which, to be fair, is a screen ratio issue, but it feels like a waste of that 8-inch screen space. There were also some apps that open up where it disappointingly displayed the same single screen 9:16 ratio. Sometimes the app just requires a restart to adopt the different screen aspect, but many apps don't actually natively support the square-like 6:5 aspect ratio. I also noticed right away that the internal display is a big fingerprint magnet, more than its external display. I had to wipe down the display before basically every shot that you see in this video. The reason for this is likely because the internal display uses a flexible plastic-like material rather than glass. But overall, the foldable design works, and it works especially well on the 9 Pro Fold. After playing with it more over the next couple of days, I found some features unique to the Fold that were actually genuinely useful. So starting with mobile gaming, because this was an absolute treat on this display. Call of Duty works really well and looks quite incredible on this 8-inch display, and I would happily sink an hour into this game on this phone on a plane or during a commute. And even better, some games support a foldable aware type mode like Asphalt Legends Unite, which reminds me of a Nintendo DS. Often these games will have a mini-map or extra controls on the bottom half of the screen. It's also worth pointing out that the stereo speakers on this phone are great when gaming, or actually just when using the speakers in general, because when it's unfolded, the spatial audio supported speakers are on opposite sides, creating greater audio separation than traditional smartphones, and it's immediately noticeable, so that's a big tick for its speakers. And when it comes to composing photographs, being able to flip open to larger screens was both useful and an overall nicer experience when composing photos, particularly when using the rear camera for selfies. The new Made You Look feature, which displays an animation on the front screen when taking photos to capture someone's attention, is more gimmicky than anything, but if you have kids, I can imagine this being useful. It totally worked on our golden retriever though. He absolutely loved the animations, and I snapped some great photos of him. And then naturally, this screen lends itself to multitasking and split screening. I'm able to comfortably watch a YouTube video and browse Reddit at the same time, and also message friends while I'm live streaming a sports match. So yeah, the first few days with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, I am really enjoying these displays. They're impressive. You know, I didn't mind waiting for a friend to arrive or commuting on a subway. I took any chance to fold out this phone and just, use it. Okay, let's move on to testing the Pixel 9 Pro Fold's cameras. And I'll compare it to the Pixel 9 and also the iPhone 15 Pro. If you watched my review of the Pixel 9, I was surprised at how consistently great the photos looked off the phone. And the set of camera lenses on the 9 Pro Fold, while similar to the Pixel 9, is definitely better. On the Pro 9 Fold, we get an extra telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom, dedicated macro mode on the ultra-wide camera, Pro controls, and also night sight mode. The biggest improvement and change is easily its 5x optical zoom. It makes a big difference being able to get closer to a subject from afar, as you can see right here, with the 2x zoom on the Pixel 9 not even getting close to the boat, while the 9 Pro Fold's optical zoom gets it pretty damn close. So if mobile photography is important to you, or you find yourself often zooming in at a concert or a sports match, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is definitely the winner over both the Pixel 9 and the iPhone 15 Pro. When it comes to the ultra-wide and main cameras though, it is a bit of a different story. Even though the Pro 9 Fold uses the moniker Pro, it doesn't actually get the inclusion of the best cameras that are seen on the 9 Pro and the 9 Pro XL. These cameras are slightly different to accommodate for the foldable design. But after using it, I'm still impressed with the photos that are coming out of it. Google does an excellent job with its image processing, and like I said in my Pixel 9 review, I still think I prefer these photos coming out of the Pixel 9 Pro Fold over the iPhone 15 Pro. The lighting is just right, colors are lifelike without being dull, and it's plenty sharp. So I don't know, what do you think? But just like the Pixel 9, portrait mode is still really disappointing when comparing it to the iPhone 15 Pro. Like, just take a look at the difference between the bokeh behind and on my ear here. The iPhone 15 Pro is clearly leagues better thanks to its LiDAR sensor, but depending on some situations, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold does come out on top, like this portrait photo of our golden retriever. It does a great job with bokeh here, and a much better job, I think, than the iPhone 15 Pro in this particular photo with post-processing, colors, and lighting. I was really happy with this shot. So let's take a look at the video footage coming out of this phone now. 4K video at 60 frames per second looks great on this phone, especially during a sunny day. But the slightly different set of cameras on the Fold once again means some key video features like 8K video boost, which uses AI to upscale videos to 8K, isn't supported here. And it also doesn't support 20 times lossless video zoom with super res zoom. Both features are found on the Pixel 9 Pro. So it's a little disappointing considering its really high price tag and it's technically named the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. But let's talk about the software for a moment. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold ships with Android 14 Plus onboard Gemini Nano, and it's a combination that I loved on the Pixel 9 and possibly still is my favorite mobile operating system. Yes, the Tensor G4 isn't as big of a technical leap, and it did struggle in certain situations like editing photos and rotating photos was rather slow on the 9 Pro Fold, for example. But the overall package and AI integration is second to none. All the great Gemini AI features that I loved in the Pixel 9 are also found right here on the 9 Pro Fold. And I've been discovering more and more use cases with Gemini AI, from its reliable AI magic eraser tools that does a great job in removing objects, to consistently using Gemini AI by holding down the side button. So one of the largest drawcards to the Pixel lineup is still its awesome operating system, clean UI, and top-of-the-line AI integration. Now, battery life was pretty decent over the last week. Nothing mind-blowing, but it's solid. The first few days with intensive use of the cameras, testing games, videos, I got about 8 to 9 hours of use from 100% before I had to plug it in for a charge. The following days on more normal usage patterns like calls, editing, photos using Gemini AI, text messages, web browsing, that type of stuff, I got closer to 12 to 14 hours of use. Still a far cry from Google's claimed 24 hours of regular use and 72 hours on extreme battery saver mode. This phone will get you through a full day of use no problem, and it's overall comparable to the iPhone 15 Pro. Okay, now that I've tried and tested all the phones in the new Pixel 9 lineup, is the 9 Pro Fold the one to get? Well, I found myself enjoying the 9 Pro Fold every time I used it during this week, and more specifically, every time I unfolded it. Even with its pitfalls, it's a great phone, both folded and unfolded. It snaps terrific photos. The operating system and AI features are all well thought out, and the foldable displays are just so nicely integrated. But at $1,800 or 2,699 Australian dollars, it's just really expensive. You could literally buy the new Surface Pro 11 that I recently reviewed for less than this price tag. That being said, I think if you're someone that uses their phone for literally everything, sort of like my partner, she uses her phone to watch videos, pay bills, research travel plans, update Notion, literally uses it for everything, then the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is a great buy with its 8-inch tablet mode. If you want to get the most bang for buck from the new Google Pixel lineup, my recommendation is the Pixel 9 is still where it's at. If you want the best cameras, the 9 Pro and Pro XL is what you want. But if you're gonna do everything on your phone and you're that type of person and you love consuming media on your phone, well, the 9 Pro Fold is a great all-rounder. For me personally, if the iPhone 16 Pro doesn't live up to its high expectations in just a few weeks, I'll seriously consider dailying the Pixel 9 Pro Fold.